Alright guys, next game between Chris and Viper today. I'm really liking that the Viper stopped by today because it's given us a lot of fun stuff, really. The whole community has gone a little bit nuts, hasn't it? So, everyone's like, I'm done playing, we are just going to watch. And I do that most of the time now, but anyway. So what's the map today? The map, Coastal. And very interesting, we've seen a lot of different maps thus far. And we have kilts from Chris on this side. Chris playing in the green, and again, that's normally his color. He normally is known for playing in the green. Much as Viper's color is the yellow. So maybe this will be a legendary game. They're playing in their colors, and maybe it'll be a fun one. So this is Coastal. I'm liking the way this map is laid out. It's very interesting. It's a very large gold pile. Maybe it just looks large. I'll compare it to Chris's in a second. But anyway, they're both playing as Celts. This map, very wallable. I mean, there's very easy wall on this side, very easy wall on the fronts here. Like, wall, honestly, for the Viper, wall here, a little bit of palisading there, maybe barracks and a couple houses there, and a wall there. That's all he needs to do. It's not that bad. While for Chris, I mean, he could push all the way out there as well again. But he doesn't need to. He could wall there, wall a little bit there, wall a little bit here if he needs to, and wall there, and he's fine. So walling, very easy, which makes me believe these guys are going to dock, they're going to boom, and there's going to be a lot of action in the Castle Age. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a drush from one of these players. If we did see a drush from one of these players, it would not be surprising, like I said, because they want to kind of stop that walling from happening, possibly cause a little bit of trouble with the economy early on, and also because, well, you can easily fast castle behind a drush if you're this good. Anyway, so Martin Stoneheart is following me again. So it looks as though my alerts are working. Thank you, I have fixed them, and thank you again for either. I'm pretty sure you followed me before. If not, no hard feelings. Anyway, so now that we got that out of the way. The gold over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7's a standard for sure. And 7 over there. And Spoon Slush, that's a new one. Thank you, Spoon Slush, for following me. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by today. So, like I said, a little bit of walling actually starting here for Chris. He's going to get his dock out as well. Viper's going to dock on this side. Lots of plentiful fishing for him. And decent fishing here as well. I mean, I would say that there's not as much water here for Chris, but honestly, it's not going to be that huge a deal. He could always, later in the game, get a dock out over in that corner, which once he scouts, he'll probably realize he could do later. It's going to be interesting to see what these guys do. Because water, the fishing, very important. Seeing someone being attacked somewhere. I heard the alert, I'm not sure exactly where. There we go. Scout from Chris being attacked. But, yeah, I mean, are they going to wall up and go mainly water? It's going to be an interesting balance, guys. I mean, they're going to have to choose between pushing hard on the water, pushing both on land and water, or going mainly land. So, we will certainly see. Most of these guys talking in the chat right now regarding Chris and the Viper, so I figure I will mention it. That both Chris and the Viper, Viper is above 2K4. The highest rating ever reached in AOC was reached by the Viper. So the guy is very good. We all know that. But Chris, I think he was like top 10 maybe. But if Chris wins this game, from what I'm hearing in the chat, he will, and I obviously can't verify it, he will be the highest that he has ever been. So that's really interesting. This is a non-tournament game, obviously, but it is ranked. So it'd be really interesting to see if Chris could win this. He obviously won the previous game on that Islands game versus the Viper. So, I'm not seeing a barracks out for any of these guys. I'm not seeing a drush from any of these guys. And Chris, does he have nice scouting on where he can wall? Well, yes. It looks like he has good scouting from where he can wall. And the only reason I mention that is because he could potentially wall, think he's safe, and have knights or crossbows come into his base later. Viper, let's take a quick look at what he can see. Very nice scouting as well. And he's all scouted as well. So, he should be fine. Now, Chris has gone up pretty early, so this is a difference in approach. He's gotten 4 fishing ships out, Viper on 4 as well currently, but he's gone up very early. I'm very surprised that Chris has gone up this early, because, like I said, we're going to be seeing a lot of booming, you would think, and the vills from Chris is only 21 right now. So, sending a lot over to wood, sending 3 forward villagers out, and we'll see what he's going to do here. He's going to complete this wall here as well. And he's not sending over to gold either, so I'm interested to see what he's going to do. He's going to get a barracks out. Could always delay the gold. He might not need that gold just yet. It's going to take a lot of time to do any damage on the water from him, so the early feudal age probably means that he's going to do something on land. While Viper has not yet clicked up. He also has not yet walled, so I'm going to try and find where the Viper scout is. It's off here, moving around, and he's now clicked up. This is the Viper's visibility. Obviously, he has no clue of this. He will possibly notice, as we know the Viper has very good sense of, it's very good senses. He notices things. He could probably see if this wolf gets attacked. So, that wolf dies, he'd be fine. But look at this. Archery range is coming out from Chris. Gold. That's, no gold. Possibly going to just go for skirmishers. We'll see. But archery range is coming out from Chris. And, again, seeing the barracks, Viper immediately walling. And how smart. Like, these guys are so reactive that, like, honestly, if I saw the barracks, I would think, like, Drush or, you know, but there we go. He's going to immediately scout. He's going to see the archery range, and now he's going to say, trouble is coming my way. Is he going to have enough villagers to wall it, though? I don't think he's going to, honestly. That villager is going to be attacked by the scout and at least delay the wall. Villagers are going to run in from Chris and try and cause some problems, and I don't think this is going to be something Viper's going to have much success in. There's 3 villagers there. The scout's getting chased down, and he's going to have to fast wall this somehow. And though there's only skirmishers and spears there, they could delay the wall from happening. So Viper's not even going to be able to complete that wall. He's not even attempting to complete that wall. He's up to the next stage, and the fast castle that Viper was looking to do with all these fishing ships is definitely not on the cards anymore. Does have this villager back here, probably just running away because it's on very low HP. And this is what Chris was kind of looking for, I think. Looking to just cause a lot of havoc. He doesn't have any farms out either. He's creating a lot of skirmishers. And he has created a mini trash war right now on, like, wow. It's just kind of insane that he's done this. And again, this is coastal. So, I'm really liking it. I'm really liking the pressure he's put on. Now, the only thing, Viper's going to be in a little bit better position resource-wise. Going out here onto the deer. If he could complete a wall here, he's already completed back here. Oh, there's the villager. Poor villager. She was just, like, resting back there to regain some breath. And she dies. She dies. There's no happy ending to the story. But, again, Viper is actually getting out of galley, which is really nice. That galley could go and start disrupting some fishing for Chris. And I think Viper now, though he couldn't complete the wall out here, he's going to be okay. Because this wood can't be towered. He's not actually collecting there. He has a backwood. And if he completes a wall here, which definitely needs to be done, there we go, blacksmith, he's going to be fine. Nothing's going to be able to come in here, especially trash, and cause any problems for him. He's probably going to have a decent time getting up to the next age as well. And though there's a tower on the front, as long as he holds onto the water, he's not going to need the farms around the CC. He's just going to need these, excuse me, it's just going to need the fishing. So, Chris, he's kind of up against it now because he has committed to this feudal war. He spent a lot of resources, of course, and now Viper's in a good spot. I mean, let's face it, 1450. If it was a straight up fast castle, he'd already be on his way. But he's in a good spot to get up to the next stage before Chris. He knows Chris isn't going to really be able to get in here. He knows Chris is going to have to go around or do something crazy. Now, Viper hasn't scouted this right-hand side. This is open, but Chris is sending everything in on the front. So, we'll see if Chris is able to do anything here. I don't think the Viper is going to have too much trouble. And the tower for Chris, not being on, again, yeah, not being on any stone. I'm not liking the tower placement there. It's not going to really disrupt any wood. It's only going to possibly disrupt the farm. So, not the best tower. Had it been up here, I think it could have possibly posed a little bit more problem to a wood line, which of course is very important. Now, this villager's breaking out. We're going to pay attention to her. If that villager's able to do something as far as make a stable possibly, or even do anything that allows Viper to break out without Chris noticing, it'd be really huge. Some villagers in the TC here fighting these skirmishers. Skirmishers, of course, can take some arrow fire. I'm not sure why Chris tried to push in. Maybe Chris tried to go through the TC there. But, of course, Viper, precautionary skirmishers of his own, and also getting +1 of his own now as well. So, kind of a shame his villager being set out there where he didn't need the villager to go. And where's this villager going? Building another dock. Okay, very nice. And guys, also, I forgot about this galley. This galley did go out here and delay the fishing for Chris just a moment as well. So, this dock's going to be really nice for the Viper because it's going to allow these other fish to be collected a little bit closer. And also, he can make a fire shortly as well. There go the skirms. And the skirms went through. They have +1 defense, and the Viper does not. I mean, skirms, it takes an awful lot of skirms to really kill villagers. So the villagers are going to just, like, pressure in. They obviously have minimum range. Chris had a couple nice kills there. I mean, you can see, I of course, overlooked a couple of them, but I think the Viper will be able to clean this up, especially with the villagers being there. And I don't think he's going to lose any villagers either. He's going to be up to the next stage in a decent time, very good time compared to Chris. And Viper just needs to task these villagers against the skirms, hold on to as many skirms as he can, and just try, and just clean this up so he can get his economy rolling again. But again, skirmishers from Chris doing a good job. You gotta say, he really made the most of that, but he didn't do any real economy damage, except pulling those villagers off of wood, of course. And Chris, is he gonna go through again? Because the Viper doesn't have anything now. Is he going to go through again? He's going to go through the TC again. You know, if he could win this game and go above 2.4K, by going through the TC like that, I would just be so happy, honestly. That's so cool. Viper, again, making fire shift like I thought. But there he goes. Viper, because he made the fire ship, he's not able to make the Mangonel just yet. And he's going to chase down the skirms with Vills. This is not ideal for the Viper right now. If he had a stable, he would be fine. He could make a knight and just absolutely be fine. But he's having a lot of trouble. He does have the Mangonel coming. And sending a villager across. Now, Chris, what can Chris see? That's his barracks. He can't see just yet. I'm interested to see if he will see that wolf, the wolf dying. But it's going to be more interesting right now to see if any villagers can die in this location. If we have any villagers go down here, plus a lot of idling. Chris, of course, building that tower back there. You know, Chris still, why hasn't this been walled on the front from the Viper? I'm not sure. I think possibly one villager could go down, but I think Mangonel now is going to keep the Viper in a good spot. Now, this is the villager. The villager kept running. The villager's going to go down. That's a real shame. It's a real shame. Glad we kept an eye on that, though. And look what Chris is doing. He's just sending the skirmishers in random directions just to cause problems. And, oh my gosh, Viper almost killing one of his own villagers. Like, the skirmishers are just randomly... Look, he's microing that one as well. Villager going down in there. Look at all the idols. This is, like, caused such a mess. Like, this is insane. This is insane. And... again, Viper kind of hitting his own villagers. And Chris has been really nuts. Really nuts. And he's just clicking up to the next stage. Really nuts with his approach on this one. But the problem for him is he could possibly lose the water. And possibly, I mean, his build has been primarily for like ranged units, and now he has Mangonel out. That's gonna cause some problems. Is the Viper gonna hit his own ram here? Yeah, he hit his own ram with the Mangonel, and wow, it stayed alive for the time being, and it took it down very nicely, and it's gonna get repaired. Wow, very clutch repair as well, because the skirmishers could have actually taken that out with only 6 HP. And Viper switching into more archery ranges, and I'm wondering what his choice is going to be. Going 4 archery ranges is quite a lot. Well, we have the choices from stables. There we go. So Chris is actually going to be going knights, and you know, I think that's the better choice, because we have a lot of walling from the Viper. He's actually open on the back as well. Knights are going to be more mobile and getting around. And, you know, the Viper only on 5 military. He's got to do a lot of upgrading as well. So what's going to happen is, you know, he's going to see these knights coming, and he's going to immediately know that he needs a lot of mass to deal with them. And I don't know if like, the Viper's going to be able to mass and deal with it. He's going to need a lot of resources, though he does have a lot queued up right now. We'll see. Chris is going to hit the next stage just in time, because right at the moment he hits the next stage, Viper's coming up to try and, you know, cause some problems with his Mangonel and with some archers. He made some scouts, and of course they have the defense upgrade because he's going to be making knights. Scouts actually won't do too bad against the archers either. The crossbowman or the archer armor hasn't even come in for the Viper yet. He has the +2. And, you know, some units are going to go down there, especially with the skirms there. Chris is doing a great job, I think, holding on to this hill now, too. And he's going to make knights out of every single stable he has there. And with only 8 military from the Viper, he's going to have to do an awful lot. And no surprise we're seeing the monastery, because he's going to need to get some conversions to level things out. So, Chris, very strong this far. He did have a hard time. Really doing significant damage as far as killing. But again, looking at the idle time, Viper's at 50 minutes, Chris only at 22. That really adds up. And one thing I will say, ground control is also really important. I mention it all the time. And of course, Chris, with all this control, is putting, like, the game is in his hand, and he's pushing Viper back. So, Black Mamba, thank you so much for following. I certainly appreciate it. Wild game, we have Viper howls now. Like I said, like, pushing someone back like this causes a lot of problems, and Viper is certainly being pushed back. Chris is 2 villas ahead. Military-wise, he's also 3 ahead, and he has the superior unit choice, 1v1. Crossbows need to be massed, and, you know, these knights are going to come in. He has a monk, but are the crossbows going to be able to do the damage? I don't know. Again, more idle time here caused. Possibly a villager could go down. More knights going to come in for Chris. This could be a devastating blow. This could be a really devastating blow if these knights choose to come in. And Chris obviously showed us earlier he does not care about TC fire. And there we go. The conversion did happen. And he's going to engage these crossbows underneath the TC. We'll have to see how that pans out. I'm not sure if that'll be the best choice. There is a knight in there that was converted, but look at this knight picking off a villager or 2. Viper's going to try and engage it, but he stopped that pretty quickly. And check this out, guys. I mean, as far as the military, it's pretty level. Vills, though, lots of Vills in the favor of Chris. He is now 5 ahead as opposed to 1 or 2, and just creating a lot of havoc. Lots of idle time. Just look at this. Well, meanwhile, Chris at home, you know, doing completely fine. And, Viper, like, what's his choice going to be now? I think he's going to try and wall up and boom. I think that's, like, his only choice. I don't think he's going to be able to push back on all this and his towers and such. +2 defense is coming for Chris, so I think Chris is certainly going to try and push this one. But then again, I mean, Chris, he has decent walls as well. He has decent military as well, so he could put decent pressure on, not go too crazy, and get up to the next stage too. So it's going to be interesting. These guys are only 2 total population apart. So I'm liking what's happening. Here. So we have Viper, 2 TCs, Chris, 2 TCs. Chris has enough stone for a castle shortly. It's that unit is not, that villager is not very efficient. And, well, here we have outposts coming out just to make sure everything's okay from Chris. But the action, finally getting that TC walled up on the front. And, well, we'll see what happens. So, wow, huge win on the water there for Chris as well. Chris clearing out with some fire ships, the fishing ships of Viper, and all the while, of course, all this action was happening on the land. So the Viper, though he killed almost all the fishing ships except for one of the fishing ships of Chris, he's lost all his now, and that's really a big deal. Now, looks like Viper's going to send some units out across. Is it going to be of any success? Real quick, we're going to see these outposts up, and great visibility. He's going to see, so smart, so smart. Like, what's wrong with doing that? There's nothing wrong with doing that. Sometimes players are just too lazy to build outposts like that, and now Viper's going to lose that army. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. He's going to try and get a knight. He might get a knight, at most. Maybe two. But, I mean, that army's going to go down. And Viper, he's really in trouble. He's really behind. He's really behind. I mean, his villagers, 7 behind. He's now lost his forward army. Another outpost coming up there from Chris. And we will see. We will see what happens here. I think, honestly, as I say, we will see like 10 times this evening. I don't know why I keep saying that. With handcart coming in from Chris, Chris is just sitting back. He's going to send some knights in. Viper going up to 3 TCs. But he's going to send some knights in. Gonna need to be careful, guys. Possibly, he's gonna run into the TC or get converted. He had to choose. And I think running into the TC was honestly smarter, but he did lose the unit there. And there we go. This is why I slow things down, because the game is not played at the speed that I was just showing you. Castle in the front from the Viper to free up some space. And he does have a lot of crossbows. He has 23. 20 to 23, depending on how, a knight or two he has. 23 total military. Gonna push out this direction. And Chris, though, he's much closer to the next stage. He's possibly only a moment or two away. And because we're at the we're playing as Celts, I think we're going to see the castle from both these players. We haven't yet seen the castle from Chris, but he's also going... he's also going to stone right now. He's honestly, obviously going to prioritize the economy first. It looks like get up to the next stage, then he's going to push. Now, the castle would be really useful for him now, because, if his knights aren't really engaging correctly, let's say they're pushing out across on this side, or the castle would be nice to cover this area, especially this gold. But he doesn't have enough for it yet, and the outpost is now gone. And, he's got to hold this side, and we'll see what he does. Doesn't look like the Viper is too intent on pushing in. I think the Viper, again, wants to do something and push. Now, Chris, he has clicked up to the next stage, getting up his castle. And, guys, this is why Celts are one of my favorite civs. Like, I love woads. I love going from crossbows to knights, whatever you want, because you can easily see both. Lots of siege, and then you can see woad raiders. Like with the Aztecs, for example, we see lots of Aztec wars, but what we don't see is like lots of Jaguar warriors. And so Celts are really fun to see. Now, I wonder if Chris is going to actually see these deer moving, because the deer are moving because of these crossbows. And like I said, the outpost is gone. He's going to lose 1 villager, and he's going to lose all the villagers for sure. So, like I said, Castle could really use some help him out. Viper, he's probably going to have enough for 2 castles by the time he clicks up. In fact, he's quite a ways away from clicking up. He's probably going to buy his way up. He has the market over there. But, had he had multiple castles up, which is ideal at this point, Chris would be in a better spot. But check this out. Lots of barracks going up from Chris. Leads me to believe he's actually not going to go with my beloved Woad Raiders. And I think that's a smart choice. Honestly, it is a smart choice. But I still would have liked to see the Woad Raiders, but I'm not going to cry about it. Viper's going to be able to get, if he gets wedged in here, oh, Chris is, oh, wow. I was going to say, Viper, if he gets wedged in, that'd be really nice. He did end up getting in there. I thought Chris was going to get a leg in with a couple units or two, but he didn't. And if these knights go down, that's going to be huge. If the knights go down, Viper's going to be able to delay this gold and this wood. Not to mention these units are already idled. So the Viper is pulling this one back slowly, at least for now. But again, he's just now clicking up. And at home, what is his plan? What is he doing? Possibly another castle up on the hill. He's surely going loads, though. But is the knight going to be able to pull it off? Is the knight going to be able to pull it off, guys? Yeah, knight's not going to be able to pull it off. So like I said, I don't think any villagers or a ton of villagers are going to go down, but all this idle time is going to be forced. And that's really a huge deal. Wood Raiders coming out to kind of secure this area. Probably a smarter castle from the Viper than I kind of mentioned out here, because it's going to secure some extra gold. At this point, he's probably running low on what he has at home, and there you go. So, but we have a lot of upgrades coming in right now. We have long swordsmen there, and they're getting upgraded to two-handed swordsmen. And I wonder if Viper is going to see that. He sees the original barracks, so he's not actually going to know that the choice has come in just yet. And that's actually going to be really, really, like, you know, poor for him. That's not going to be the best. And Chris did send a couple Wood Raiders over as well. So he might think that the Woads are coming. The Woads are coming. The Woads are coming. So now, guys, again, I'm going to slow things down a little bit because it just has to happen. Viper is very behind in the upgrades. Keep in mind, this trap comes out. It could easily start pestering away at these castles. I think the Viper will just get that one up. And we have about 16 Woad Raiders out right now. And probably not going to see too much production out Chris on this side. This is the moment for Chris to really do a lot of damage. The problem for him is he's going to be running into either TC fire or castle fire. So Viper creating units to hopefully upgrade later in the game. But guys, 60 base for these two-handed swordsmen. Going to be champion eventually. 60 HP, 11 attack, while these Wood Raiders are 65 HP, 8 attack, and they don't even have the upgrades, near the upgrades, because the +3 defense for Chris. I think Chris is in a firm position here. He's really going to be able to take these castles down, because he's going to force, he's really going to force Viper to engage here, and he's getting forging as well. Now, how far off, not far off, is Chris from the champion upgrade either. And I like that he's leaving the archery range there as well to, you know, so units can't wrap around his trebuchet. So Viper, what's his choice? What's he doing? He's going to get some counter trebuchets out. He's going to repair his castle. But does he want to engage? And the answer is no, he doesn't want to engage at all. But he's going to do it. And I think he's going to actually aim for the trebuchets. And he has a lot of speed with these Wood Raiders, of course. Keep wanting to say Woad Warriors. And I wonder if he's going to be able to snipe these. You know, this would buy him a little bit of time. But he's going to lose a lot of units there. He's going to lose a lot of units there. Just for one trebuchet. And well, wasn't the worst in the world. He's gonna keep these units alive. He brought out the Mangonel. I don't know if he created that Mangonel, but the Mangonel came out of somewhere, and the Mangonel is one more hit. It's gonna take out the trebuchet. Wow, that was incredible. And Viper's getting elite Woad Raider now, so he's bought himself the time. He's creating more Woads when he gets a chance. He's very low on gold, guys. Very low on gold. He's almost out of gold there. He needs to send more out to this gold for sure. Couple two-handed swordsmen in there as well. Chris has yet to get up to champion, guys. He's yet to get up to champion, but he does have 48 military versus Viper's 25. And there we go. He's going to go to gold now that he's done repairing that castle. And there is another trebuchet there for Chris. But Chris, again, is he going to go with champion? It doesn't seem like he's going to do it just yet. I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if, as I say that, he does it now. Yeah, there it is. But I'm surprised he delayed it this long. I'm also surprised we haven't seen any type of rams. Rams, again, not ideal because, you know, we're using infantry units here, which can take out the rams quite well. But it's not. And in comes Chris. Gonna sacrifice some units at this castle to take out some trebuchets and the Vipers as well. He's gonna get them for sure. I don't know if it's worth the units he will lose, or if he's gonna lose all that many. It's hard to call. It looks as though like they took all the upgrades they have, almost fully upgraded now, that they took a fair amount of damage. Viper, he's only at 31 military versus the 50 plus from Chris, but he's taking out the expensive trebuchets. He's doing a great job. He's engaging at the base of his castle too, and he's pulled the score lead. Like, the castle's obviously going to help him out. Chris is trying to raid on his gold. You know, his Lord Raiders are going to help out with defending. He's keeping the castle alive. And, you know, I'm going to slow it down. Just mention something real quick. I was talking, and I posted this on AOC Zone, that I wanted to see, like, how long a castle could be repaired in a game. Like, I just wanted to see. And this is getting there. This is getting to be a really long repair time. And I just wanted to see, you know, one of those games. Now, Chris, still 10 population total ahead. Ville-wise, only 5 ahead, but military-wise, only 4 ahead. Viper has pulled back a lot. So, another thing I'd add is these woads, guys. They're gonna have the time because this castle is being repaired, and there's a lot of stone. Remember, he's still collecting stone over here. And these woads, they're gonna have a lot of speed. They're gonna be able to take out trebuchets. They're gonna be able to run in, take out TCs, and he might be sending out a party to raid right now. And so Chris has got to be asking himself if the champion choice was the correct choice now. Obviously, he can't go back. There's no going back now. But, I mean, now that the woads have been given the time to produce, out of only 2 castles, which is really surprising that the Viper's been able to hold on, has it been the correct choice. Now, as you can see, champions fully upgraded do really, 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 really good against the Woad Raiders. But Woad Raiders still 80 base HP, and so they're a little bit stronger. I don't know the specifics of any attack bonuses versus the champions of the Woad Raiders, so I won't get into that. Chris seems to have the production only because he's creating out of barracks. Like, Viper has like 6 units queued up out of like each and every castle, but he can't get them out. And that could be Chris's saving grace. And that's why Viper's coming out right now. He needs to save the castle. And this could be like the GG engagement if this castle goes down, if Viper loses his army, because he can't produce any woads except out of one castle. And, you know, Chris can just create them all day. And, oh, Chris using his trebuchets to take him out. And this castle's getting fired upon of the TC as well. And there you go, guys. There you go. Chris pulling that one. Chris going above 2.4k. And very topsy-turvy there at the end. But you know what that was? At the very end, you know why the Viper lost. It was because he didn't have castles. If Viper had 2 more castles, he